Bueno, pues en otras noticias, más de 50 muertos, más de 200 heridos es el saldo hasta ahora de este ataque ruso contra una instalación educativa militar en el centro de Ucrania, según informaron funcionarios de ese país. Las autoridades de la región de Poltava agregaron que los rescatistas trabajaban aún entre los escombros. El presidente Zelensky dijo que según informes preliminares, 2 misiles balísticos impactaron contra la instalación. Otros 10 edificios residenciales resultaron dañados en el ataque, que es uno de los más mortíferos desde el inicio de la invasión en febrero de 2022. Zelensky repitió su llamado a sus aliados de Occidente para acelerar el envío de misiles y de sistemas de defensa aérea. Con cierto fastidio dijo que deben estar en Ucrania y no en un depósito estas armas. El gobierno de Vladimir Putin no hizo comentarios sobre esta ofensiva. Por su parte, el director del Organismo Internacional de Energía Atómica llegó hace unas horas a Ucrania, donde tenía programado reunirse con el presidente Zelensky y visitar la planta nuclear de Zaporilla, que está bajo control ruso desde marzo de 2022. Rafael Grossi aseguró en su cuenta de X que el objetivo de su visita es ayudar a evitar un accidente nuclear. Su viaje se produce mientras funcionarios ucranianos advierten de un aumento en el riesgo en la instalación atómica, que según la empresa energética del país, ha resultado dañada en sus líneas de transmisión por ataques rusos.
Monday morning, right before dawn. A massive barrage of Russian missiles targeting Ukraine's capital. Air defenses able to shoot down most of the incoming rockets, but some clearly impacting inside the city. Russia attacking Ukraine's largest cities just as millions of children were set to go back to school for the first day of the new term.
Tonight, the explosions were very scary. I quickly ran to the bathroom. I could even feel the breeze from the impact of the explosion.
Ukraine continuing its own incursion into Russian territory in an effort to force Vladimir Putin's army to move units away from other front lines. And now, for the first time, CNN has obtained exclusive video showing how the Ukrainians first penetrated Russia's border. Elite mine-clearing teams secretly infiltrated and blew up minefields in the heavily fortified border area, clearing a path for the troops to get through. But Ukraine remains both outmanned and outgunned in most areas, increasingly relying on drones to level the battlefield. We visited the FRDM drone firm as they tested their new octocopter attack drone. Already carrying mock bombs,
It's RPG shot.
dropping them accurately from heights around 250 feet above ground. Realizing the enemy's advantage in terms of numbers of people, we cannot risk people, he says, so we are working harder to have even better drones. The drones a major factor on the battlefields where Ukrainian forces are currently trying to stop sustained Russian advances in the east of the country. Russian President Vladimir Putin saying Ukraine's incursion into Western Russia will not stop his army from pushing forward elsewhere.
Their calculation was to stop our offensive actions in key parts of the Donbass. The result is known. Yes, of course, our people are going through a tough time, especially in the Kursk region.
But the drone teams say they are not done yet, working on ever more sophisticated unmanned aircraft to hit the Russian invasion force.
On Monday, the 2nd of September, Russia launched attacks on multiple cities across Ukraine on the first day of the new school year. The capital, Kyiv, was targeted, as well as the eastern Kharkiv and Sumy regions. On Sunday, strikes on the city of Kharkiv hit civilian infrastructure and a shopping mall. According to the region's prosecutor's office, at least 47 people were injured, including 7 children. On the same day, the Russian Defense Ministry says Ukraine launched multiple drone strikes across Russia, targeting oil refineries.
Arrancamos contándoles que el presidente de Ucrania, Volodymyr Zelensky, dijo que un ataque de Rusia contra una instalación educativa militar en Poltava, en el centro de Ucrania, dejó 41 muertos y más de 180 heridos. Zelensky afirmó que, según información preliminar, 2 misiles balísticos impactaron esa instalación y también un hospital cercano en la mañana de este martes. Moscú no ha hecho comentarios aún sobre este ataque. Y un alto funcionario ruso se burló de la Corte Penal Internacional en el medio de la visita del presidente Vladimir Putin a Mongolia, el primer viaje que realiza a un país que es parte del Estatuto de Roma desde que el tribunal emitiera una orden de arresto en su contra el año pasado. Hay que decir que Dmitry Medvedev, vicepresidente del Consejo de Seguridad de Rusia, ridiculizó a los jueces y fiscales de la CPI y agregó que si algún loco intentara cumplir la orden, sus vidas no valdrían nada.
The evidence keeps growing. Even here in Kyiv, far from the front, memorials occupy ever more space. And since Ukraine's incursion into Russia's Kursk region, the war has returned to the cities with a vengeance. Last night, ballistic missiles hit Kyiv, destroying infrastructure, crippling the energy grid, raising fears. Ukrainian journalist Natalia Gumenyuk tells me it's been a trade-off, as the Russians step up their assault on the critical logistics hub of Pokrovsk.
There is no discussion whether the Kursk was right, but the question is how much we lose in Pokrovsk, in the Donbas. It boosted the morale among the military. It showed that, Ukraine can do something.
Just outside Kyiv, there's an urgent race against time in this factory that's building unmanned vehicles or land drones, because aerial drones make the front lines ever more dangerous for soldiers on both sides. Here's CEO and former Special Forces officer Alexander Biletsky.
That's why we should have technologies to kill more Russians with the purpose in using the new technologies, like using drones, using robots. That's it.
And these all-terrain, all-weather drones are meant to save more Ukrainians. On the front, they can be controlled from as far as 3 kilometers away. Here, we follow along behind. They can deliver everything from ammunition to water and also remove the wounded from the front lines. Their production has ramped up since the full-scale invasion of 2022, and the company insists Ukraine must develop more technologically advanced systems for asymmetrical warfare to counter Russia's overwhelming manpower. And they want to be much more self-sufficient for the long haul. 30 months into this grinding conflict, with the prospect of international support fading, are Ukrainians now ready to negotiate an end to it all?
So for us, it's unfortunately that existential. Sounds very big, but it is. It's really a matter of survival. We can't allow them to control our territory. And what they suggest is unconditional capitulation, unconditional surrender, or occupation.
And here Natalia quotes her friend and Ukraine's Nobel laureate, who warns that occupation is not peace, it's just a different way of war.